Hello, hello, and welcome to episode 99 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast. I'm Christine.
And I'm Sam.
And we're dragging a little bit because we had a really busy week getting ready for Western New York VegFest. And yesterday, we spent the whole day at Western New York VegFest.
Yes, and that wasn't the only thing we had going on.
No. Tell us all about what you had going on during the week.
Well, last week was the first of 2 weeks of a children's theater camp that I work at and that our niece Lucy attends. So we had Lucy staying with us last week, which is always great. We always love that. But, there's been some challenges this week because, of course, Lucy is recovering from her knee surgery. Mm-hmm. And so, she's getting around a little more slowly than she usually would. And she's got PT to do a couple times every day. And, so it's presented a few different challenges than what that week would normally be. But it was absolutely fantastic. But the week ended on Saturday with 2 back-to-back shows of Beauty and the Beast Jr. Mm-hmm. And so it was a long week of classes and rehearsals and runs of this show and having a teenager in the house.
It's kind of exhausting.
All kinds of things. Yeah, so it's kind of exhausting. Yeah. And then we had the 2 back-to-back shows on Saturday, and then Sunday we come home and it's all about packing up for VegFest. Yeah. So it's been a bit of a wild ride this week.
It really has. And when Sam talks about this theater camp, it's called Playground.
Yes. Playground Drama Day Camp.
Yeah. And what it is they took, I think, were there 40 kids?
There were 40
in
kids.
last week's group?
In last week's group.
So you have 40 kids, and in 5 days.
4, really.
Yeah, 4.
Because Monday is auditions.
Yeah, the first day is auditions. So in 4 days, they put on a show.
Yes.
And a good show. I'm talking kids have learned songs, they've learned blocking, there's dances, and of course, on top of all that, they have to remember their lines, right?
Yes, so absolutely.
It's really kind of a miracle what Playground pulls off.
It really is.
Every year.
It's quite phenomenal.
Yeah. And so the production of Beauty and the Beast was really super entertaining.
It really was.
The kids were good. The singing was fantastic. And it's a fun show. So, I mean, if anybody's a fan of Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, it was great.
It's a really fun show.
So they did 2 sold-out shows on Saturday. And that was a Playground first. Usually there's only 1 show.
Yeah.
But this year, the group of attending players was so large.
Yeah, there's no way parents of 40 kids would even fit in the place in 1 show. So, yeah, it was a good idea that you had 2.
Yeah. Now, this week, this is week 2 of Playground that we're going into, and we're doing a junior version of Rogers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. Yeah. Which is really great. And we have a slightly smaller group.
Yeah, but this is also a younger group, right?
Yes. This for me is the more challenging group because they are younger.
What's the age range?
The age range is supposed to be about 6 to about 12.
Yeah.
We have a few kids a little bit older than that, 13 or 14.
Yeah.
And the youngest player wound up being 3.
That should be a treat.
Yes. So, I mean, it's a little different than having 40 kids who range in age from maybe at the youngest 11.
Yeah, it's a little
to 18.
Yeah.
It's just the mix is different.
Yeah, it's a little different wrangling teenagers and kind of preteens to wrangling, like elementary school kids.
Yes.
So
it's a completely different animal.
Yeah. And teaching them how to walk in time with the music, let alone dance in time.
Absolutely. Yeah. So definite challenges.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun. And I met a lot of the kids for the first time today. There were some, who also did last week or who I had met last year or things like that. But most of the kids were new to me, and they all seem really sweet. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, so it's going to be another busy, busy week. Lucy, I was hoping would be on the show today. She unfortunately had to go back to Pittsburgh for a doctor's appointment to have her knee checked to see if she was moving along, if her PT and the exercises that we've been doing with her have moved her progress along enough for her to come back with us
for this week.
This week to be included in this week's Playground stuff. And yes, she's been cleared.
Yay!
But she of course, is not back yet from Pittsburgh. So we're the show must go on.
The show must go on.
Without Lucy, even
Indeed.
though I'm a little disappointed in that.
That's okay.
So what are you going to do?
Not much.
Yeah. So we're going on without Lucy. And we don't have a recipe this week.
We do not.
Because we have all kinds of stuff to talk about that happened at Western New York VegFest, and we wanted to leave enough time to let that happen and not go like 2 hours or whatever.
Right.
As much as you want a 2-hour show from us, I'm sure you do.
Really? You're sure of that? I'm not.
As much as you want to listen to us go on for 2 hours. So we're going to once again postpone the recipe of the week, and we'll be back next week with a recipe.
Yes. Things finally slow down just a hair for a few days come Sunday. So we should be able to get a recipe of the week up and running.
Yeah. I do have something to talk about in our Noteworthy section.
Okay, go for it.
If you're familiar with Christopher Sebastian, he is a vegan activist, and he's a brilliant speaker. And he has a TED Talk on veganism and racism, and the name of his TED Talk is 3 Ways Going Vegan Helped My Anti-Racism Advocacy. And if you're interested in the intermingling of social justice movements and how racism and veganism are kind of entwined, because a lot of people don't understand why so many Black vegan advocates kind of mix racism and veganism into one thing. Mm-hmm. Watch Christopher Sebastian's TED Talk, and it will blow your mind.
Yeah.
It will open your mind to, okay, I totally see this now. It totally makes sense that this is talked about in these spaces, in the same spaces. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
both
sure.
veganism and racism.
It's definitely a TED Talk that is incredibly informative and also very supportive of intersectional advocacy.
Yes.
So we're not just talking about, this TED Talk in particular is dealing with veganism and racism, but there are many, many, many other issues also associated with animal agriculture and the way the earth is treated and the way we are sold products, et cetera, et cetera. So it can be racist, it can be misogynist, it can be LGBTQ. Yeah. There are LGBTQ issues there, trans issues there. There are indigenous peoples issues there. Yeah. So it's really... all of these social justice issues really do interconnect. Yeah. And it's kind of phenomenal in the ways that they do. And so this TED Talk will definitely help deepen your understanding of how that is possible. Yeah, exactly. And so I just wanted to make you all aware that the TED Talk exists and really encourage you to watch it. We'll include a link in the show notes so that you can watch it, because it really just kind of blew my mind. Yeah. You know, how he can make these connections with colonization, beef farming, cattle farming, and white supremacy. Oh, yeah. You know, so it's really interesting. And I just wanted to bring that up. And I think everybody should watch it because, number one, he is a brilliant speaker. Yes. And number two, he brings up so many points that I had no knowledge of. And it just kind of blew my mind. So I thought everybody else should have their mind blown along with me. Nice. Thanks for sharing that information. So we can move on to our main topic. We sure can. And that is, of course, all things Western New York VegFest. Yay! This, for us, is really the start of the VegFest season. Kicks it off for us. And this year, the Western New York VegFest was held at the Johnny B. Willie, or Wiley. It could be Wiley. I'm pretty sure it's Wiley. Yeah, the Johnny B. Wiley Stadium in South Buffalo, which used to be the former stadium that the Buffalo Bills played at, and a lot of Buffalo people know it as the old rock pile. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know that. Yeah, that's what they used to call it. Cool. So it's an outdoor sporting stadium with a turfed football field in the middle, and then a track. Around the outside. That goes around the outside. And bleachers. Yeah.
Wide open space.
Wide open space.
Plenty of sunshine.
Almost too much sunshine.
The only complaint I heard from people attending this VegFest was the amount of sunshine and the inability to get away from it.
Yeah, absolutely. As someone who is unfortunately very melanin deprived, the sun does not like me at all. And I spent the vast majority of the day under our tent because we were vending. And so we had our little pop-up tent that we had for our booth. And I still got a pretty significant sunburn.
Yeah, we all still got quite a bit of sun, even though we were under the tent most of the day.
Just crazy. So that is one thing that, like, if there had just been some trees.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, you can't put trees in the middle of a football field.
No, you can't.
And because this is a turfed field, there's no staking. You can't use tent stakes, and the track is not dirt. It's some sort of synthetic material, like it's really bouncy, like for runners.
Sure.
And you can't stake into that. So there was no way that they could put up even like a large event tent or provide shade for people in any other way.
Yeah.
So I think that's the only downside to that, using that venue.
Yeah, I thought the venue was actually pretty great. I thought it was very cool that you could kind of see everybody kind of like down the one straightaway, the track, and you had booths on both sides, which was really, really nice.
Yeah, and there's plenty of room for more vendors.
Oh my gosh, like I could see it just continuing to wrap around the track. Like that would be so super cool.
Yeah, the festival could definitely really expand in that location.
Absolutely.
Which is cool.
Yeah, especially because I feel like last year things were starting to get a little tight at Riverworks.
It was tight.
Yeah. So I really liked that, and I liked seeing the potential for expansion. I thought that was super, super cool. Yeah, the fact that there was no shade to be had was was unfortunate, I'll say. And also for us, I mean, of course you can't really expect this in a stadium, but there was no Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just never thought about that, and we've always used our point of sale system on Wi-Fi. But of course, I can do it on my phone too, through cellular. So I had a small panic moment where I'm like, wait a minute, there's no Wi-Fi. And I was talking to the girl at the booth next to us. She's like, just use your phone. I just use my phone. I'm like, oh, duh. So instead of using the like Bluetooth card reader kind of thing, I just use the old-fashioned plug it into a dongle and actually swipe them. And that worked just fine.
It worked just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure did. Now, let's talk about what we loved about this space.
Let's talk about
that. I have to say, we got to drive right up to our booth space for both load in and breakdown.
I think this was a huge pro.
Oh my God.
That saved so much walking and carrying and time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Such a time and energy saver.
Yeah.
So love that. I can't imagine that being improved upon in any other venue.
Thank you so much to the people that run that facility for allowing us to drive on that track.
Yeah.
And unload our stuff.
Yeah.
That helped so much.
Yes. Now we couldn't park on the track, and I actually thought that was kind of great.
Yeah, we don't
because it just
you don't want people leaving cars there.
No, and so it just left that space nice and open for everybody who was attending the VegFest. So that was pretty fabulous.
Yeah.
So loved that. Also, gotta say, the security team was awesome.
They were great. Even at one point, Lucy went up to the restrooms, which was above the bleachers, like in any stadium. The restrooms are at the back of the bleachers. And with her being in her leg brace and everything, she's pretty slow. So she was on her way back, and one of the security guys offered her a ride on his golf cart. So
and all of a sudden, this golf cart comes trucking up behind our tent, and there's Lucy just grinning and waving. And okay,
she's like, I got a ride.
You hitched a ride in a golf cart. All right. The security team was also the maintenance team was wonderful.
Yeah, the place was impeccably clean.
It was.
The bathrooms were super clean, super nice. Everything was really well maintained.
Yep. And trash was taken care of really efficiently and really effectively. Mm-hmm. Of course, one negative here was that there didn't seem to be any receptacles for recycling.
I couldn't find any receptacles for recycling. Now, we didn't bring bottled water in ourselves. No. We brought like big water bottles and stuff, but there were people with bottled water, and I'm afraid that some of those bottles ended up just with regular trash, and that's not cool. There should have been some sort of recycling.
It would be great if there were recycling cans
Yeah.
right alongside the trash cans.
Yeah. Even if somebody just had to bring it home and put it in their recycling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also love the fact that there was so much space. Never at any time did you feel kind of hemmed in or
Wasn't
crowded,
cramped.
not cramped at all.
No.
Even at the high point of the day, which was probably around 2:00 when there were the most people in and around the venue, things never felt crowded.
No, it was nice. It was really nice.
Yeah. I mean, and you could see that there were long lines at
a
number of the vendors.
We were busy all day.
And we were busy all
and vendors next to us, the cookie guy, who we will talk about.
Oh my gosh.
When we start talking about the people that we, tried food from and stuff. He had a line from the time the place opened, and he sold out at 3:00.
Yeah, he was completely sold out of product.
Yeah, what did he say he sold? 1,500 cookies?
No,
or something like that?
It was like 600 cookies.
Oh, 600?
Yeah.
Okay. Still.
That's a lot of cookies in 3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll talk about his cookies and stuff
We will.
coming up when we start talking about the food. So, any other pros?
Well, I mean, because of all that space, there were plenty of spots where people could just sit and eat. Like you could bring like a picnic blanket.
I was surprised more people didn't, but I think the sun kind of kept people from
I think so
just
too.
hanging out on the field.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess maybe if people who weren't familiar with the facility, maybe there should have been like a Postmate or something saying, bring something for shade, umbrellas, like a beach chair with an attached umbrella or something, because that, like I said, that's the main complaint that I'm hearing from people is that they just couldn't get, and it was a hot day.
It was
86 or something in Buffalo.
And the sun was pretty
so,
oppressive.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. Now, further through the afternoon, like, I don't know, maybe around 4:00.
Yeah,
there was
during
some
the
cloud
4 o'clock
cover.
lull. During the 4 o'clock lull, there was some cloud cover.
Yeah, once the sun kind of went away, it was perfectly, and there was a breeze all day long. I mean, to the point where we were having to tie things down.
Oh my gosh. So. Yeah, we had several instances of things toppling over and,
Yeah, because you can't stake
merch
things.
flying off the tables.
Yeah.
And it was good time.
We had tent weights, but we could have used heavier tent weights, and some of our display racks aren't weighted.
Right.
And so we had to tie them to the tent and stuff like that.
I already went searching for the weights that we actually need, and then we can keep the weights that we used as the tent weights for the
rack
display
weights
stands.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but the cool thing about that is every time we do a festival, we learn something new.
Oh, we sure do.
How to make things work more smoothly for us.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, honestly, yesterday was, even though we have done the Western New York VegFest before, we didn't have nearly as much merch that we were selling.
No, we didn't.
And even though we have done pop-up markets with the amount of stuff that we currently sell, they're not nearly as busy as
not
a
as busy.
VegFest.
They're indoors.
Right.
Yeah.
So just
we're not dealing with a tent or weather or anything like that.
Yeah, completely different situations. So this just kind of made me really excited for the next kind of fest that we're doing. Yeah. Which is in Fredonia, New York.
Oh, yeah, the Fredonia Farm Festival?
The Fredonia Farm Festival. Mm-hmm. Yep, we'll be doing at the end of August.
Yeah, and then in September, we'll be in Syracuse at the Syracuse VegFest.
We sure will.
Yeah. We wanted to vend at the Rochester VegFest, but we got word yesterday from Rob at
Grass-Fed Rochester.
That Rochester VegFest is not going to happen this year for some reason. So that's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
Disappointing.
Yes, absolutely. But so it really was a learning experience.
Yeah.
But before we get to, things we learned, let's get to the food because, any VegFest, it's all about the food.
It's kind of all about the food. Yeah.
Now, we started out. Oh, wait, actually, I want to say that the first food that we ate at VegFest was something that was gifted to us.
That's right.
And it was gifted to us by Jenny from Isotope Vegan Desserts.
Yeah, and Jenny's based in Syracuse, New York.
Yes, and so Jenny came over to us and gave us each a beautiful ice cream sandwich, and it was already starting to get pretty warm right as things opened at 12 o'clock, so I was very grateful
it was
the
a welcome
cold treat.
Yeah, it was a welcome treat for sure.
And so Christine's was a cannoli.
Yeah, it was cannoli. We had little chocolate chips in it.
Chocolate chips.
The ice cream was fantastic. Mm-hmm. The cookies were fantastic too, but the ice cream was really creamy. Mm-hmm. And I really appreciated that cold treat for sure.
And mine was a strawberry rhubarb. ice cream sandwich.
Yeah.
And, you know, at one point we traded to take bites of each other's ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah.
And I immediately just wanted mine back.
Yeah. Well, there's something about when you put fruit in something sweet like that, the sharpness of the fruit cuts through the sweet, and it just makes it
It
really
was like
good.
layered. So it was a sugar cookie outside.
Yeah.
And then beautiful, creamy strawberry ice cream. And then there was almost like a rhubarb sorbet layer. And it was just gorgeous. I've never had anything quite like it. I really hope I get to have those again. Like, they're the kind of thing I would very happily buy a 6-pack and bring them home.
Right.
Yeah. Like, amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Possibly the best ice cream sandwich I've ever had.
Yeah. And the awesome thing is Jenny was not vending at VegFest at all. She specifically brought those just for us to try, which I thought was so kind.
So sweet.
That was so awesome of her. So if you're ever in the Syracuse area, look up Isotopes Desserts or Isotopes Ice Cream and Dessert. I know she has a website where you can order things from, and check her stuff out. She also makes beautiful cakes I saw on her website.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So that was our first taste.
Yep.
And then the
Thank you, Jenny, for
second
that.
thing that made its way to our tent was on Lucy's behalf. So she immediately, just as she did last year, headed over to Avenue 29 for their chicken nuggets and fries.
She's all about the Avenue 29 chicken nuggets.
She
baby.
is.
Yep.
They're her thing.
She had them
actually
twice.
she had them twice
Yep.
yesterday. Yes, she did. She cannot get enough of the Avenue 29 chicken nuggets. So she had the nuggets and the fries with ketchup on the side,
Yep.
and she was very, very happy, per usual. She finished the nuggets in no time and definitely left some fries over. She's
they
not a
give
big
you-
potato fan, and they do give you a ton of
They
fries.
give you a ton of them. And yeah, funny thing about Lucy, you know, most kids love French fries. She's not a huge French fry fan. I mean, she'll eat French fries, but it's not like she wants French fries.
No,
You know
but
what
she
I mean?
loves McDonald's French fries.
Yeah, well, let's not talk about that.
Nah. It's unfortunate.
We'll try not to hold that against her.
Oh, no, definitely not. Then
Moving on.
Oh, moving on. So at any VegFest in this particular area, in the central to western New York area, my first stop is always going to be grass-fed Rochester.
Oh, yeah. Anytime we hear they're going to be there or anywhere where we are, that's the first place we're going.
Yes. And so last year at the Western New York Veg Fest, my first stop was grass-fed Rochester, and I got their gyro because it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I love a good gyro.
Yeah.
But this year they did not have the gyro with them. They had some other things going on. There was a BLT, which had some chipotle mayo on it, but it was a beautiful seitan bacon and gorgeously crisp lettuce and juicy tomato on a wonderful bun.
Yeah, it was like a ciabatta bun.
A ciabatta bun. I only got one bite of that because Christine ate the
kinda
rest of it.
Mowed that down. You did. It was good.
Yeah. And so I got instead to eat their Knowing Me Cubanoing You
Right.
Cubano sandwich.
All their sandwiches have fun names.
They
yeah.
do. And so this is the Knowing Me Cubanoing You.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cubano sandwich.
Cubano sandwich.
Which was delicious.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about this, and I know we've said this on the podcast a lot, I'm actually not a fan of the flavor of pork. I've never liked ham. I'm not a huge fan of sausage. I like vegan sausage much more than I like
Right.
any animal-based sausage.
Right.
That kind of a thing. Was never huge on bacon. Like when we did have bacon pre-veganism, it was usually turkey bacon.
Yeah.
Because like I said, not crazy about pork. But this was an incredible replica of a Cubano. So it was kind of like a seitan pork loin with mustard and pickles and this. Oh my God, it was just gorgeous.
Really good.
And this beautiful vegan cheese.
sliced
nice
seitan.
thick sliced, yes. On a really kind of thin, crunchy roll.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And another thing I will often say when it comes to sandwiches, the messier the sandwich is, the better it is. This was messy.
Yeah.
I was having a hard time keeping this together, but in the best possible way.
Yeah.
And so once again, grass-fed Rochester knocks it out of the park.
Yeah. And if you're not familiar with grass-fed, they are Rochester-based. And they have their own deli where they make all of their own vegan meats. So check them out. Like the bacon on my BLT was perfect.
Oh, it was so good. Just that one bite I got. It was so good.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So I'm sure that on our way to the Syracuse VegFest,
we'll probably stop.
We'll probably stop in at Grass Fed, and then we'll have more of their stuff at the Syracuse VegFest because they will be there.
They're going to be at Syracuse too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So super excited about that.
Yeah, and they were also selling packaged meats, and I wish I'd known that. I saw other people like posted pictures. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize they had packaged stuff. I probably would have bought something.
But also if we had known that, we would have brought a cooler.
Yeah, that's true.
To keep stuff in.
Yeah.
Until we got it home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
for
true.
Sure.
But we'll plan on that for when we see them in Syracuse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So after that, we had the sandwiches like kind of right at the opening of VegFest.
Yeah, first we had ice cream. Well, first you had like part of a cookie or something from
that was Lucy.
Oh, Lucy had part of a cookie.
Yeah, but we're going to talk about the cookies later.
Yeah. And then then we had our ice cream sandwiches.
The ice cream sandwich was first.
And then we had the sandwiches from Grass Fed.
Yes. And then we had a nice long stretch where we were just kind of busy and, taking care of business at our booth and all of that kind of stuff, which was great. And then we decided, you know what, we really have to make sure that we taste a few more things while we're here.
I know. And it's hard when you're vending to, try everybody. You want to support everybody else, but it's hard because you're working too,
Yeah, you're working and, your stomach doesn't have as much space as you want it to.
Yeah. And when it's hot too.
Right. So I decided that it would be a good idea to get some like snack type stuff instead of going for like bigger meals because there were several vendors that were selling plates.
Yeah.
Like full plates.
And it was a lot of food.
Buffalo Plant Burger was doing that. Go Veggies was doing that.
Yeah.
And so we decided to go with some of the more snacky stuff. So I headed on over to another of our favorites, Sunshine Vegan Eats.
Yeah.
And got some of their snacks. So we went with the Impossible Egg Rolls, which we had been wanting to try for a very long time.
They were very good.
They were.
And here's how I'll describe them. They were almost like a dolmas, wrapped in grape leaves with the Impossible meat and onion and other veg in there. And then wrapped in
like the egg roll
an egg roll wrapper and fried, and it was really good.
Yeah, they were really good. Wonderful texturally, great flavor. Definitely a hit. Loved those.
I did love those too.
And then we also got some chicken tenders.
I love her chicken tenders.
I do too. Absolutely adore them. And Lucy, it was funny. Lucy tasted them and she had them last year and said she really liked them.
Yeah.
But this year she was like, they're just okay. And I have no idea why. Because
you never know with a kid.
The breading is perfect. It's not at all greasy. The texture of the chicken is just ridiculous.
It's really good.
So good.
I think it's a tofu-based product.
I believe so, yes. Yeah. And then we tried for the first time the chicken slider, which had Nikki's famous blue slaw.
Yeah, her spirulina slaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, she makes this spirulina mayonnaise, and she puts it on a lot of things, and then she also puts it in her slaw, so it's this kind of bright blue slaw. And this slider, the chicken on the slider, was mushroom based. I think maybe king mushrooms or something. It was good.
We still know that for me, mushrooms are hit and miss. So for me, the slider, like the flavor was good, the texture was good, but there was something about it that didn't quite work for me.
The mushroom flavor.
Yeah, and it was probably that flavor.
Yeah.
So it was perfect for Christine. It was just not quite my cup of tea. I much preferred the chicken tenders.
Yeah.
Those were just fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
I also prefer the chicken tender. I appreciate that people are using mushroom in that way because texturally it does come off really well.
It does.
It gives you the same kind of bite, and they're meaty. But I do prefer the flavor on her chicken tenders to the mushroom burgers. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Then let's see. Then after a little while, we headed over to Jolitos, where I got a pastelito, which Christine and I shared.
That was delicious.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So good. So this is kind of like an empanada.
Yeah.
It's similar to an empanada.
Is pastelitos like a West Indies kind of thing?
To be honest, I am not
You don't know? I think it might be like Jamaican or something.
Okay.
the dough on those pastelitos was so flavorful and crisp and perfect.
Crisp and flaky and just, you're right, absolutely perfect.
Yep.
And then on the inside, we had, I'm thinking it was either Beyond or Impossible.
Yeah, it seemed like Impossible or something.
Or something like that. And some vegan cheese and some veggies, peppers and onions, that kind of a thing.
Really good.
It was just beautiful. Yeah, and so we were really excited to get to try those. That was a new sampling for us.
Yeah, I believe I think they're California based.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah, they travel all over to festivals all over the country.
Oh, well, wow. I hope they come back this way again because I would like to dive into their food a little bit more. Yeah. And let's see, our last munchie of the day were the samosas from Go Veggie.
Yeah. Now, Go Veggies usually only has he's famous for his packaged
veggie burgers.
And I've honestly never tried them. I think I tried a sample of them once at a Taste of Vegan.
Oh, okay.
Years ago, like 3 years ago or something like that. But he was doing cooked food.
He was.
He was doing plates and he had samosas on his thing. And so Sam said, go get us a couple of samosas.
Because samosas, one of my favorite things on the planet.
Yeah.
Yes.
However, he was cooking everything on a flat top grill. You can't cook a samosa on a flat top grill.
Well, I mean, you can, but you're not going to get that samosa experience.
Yeah.
You know, and I am 100% in favor of taking traditionally fried foods and finding a way to make them healthier, to not be dependent on oil.
Sure.
As the cooking medium.
Sure.
Like, I much prefer air frying to deep frying when that's an option.
Yeah.
But even though the flavor of the interior of the samosa was really quite lovely, and you got all the potatoes and the peas and the carrots and all of that, you lost the samosa experience because the dough on the outside was not crispy.
It was soft.
It was soft.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't flaky. And it actually wasn't samosa dough. I actually think it was like a phyllo.
Yeah, it kind of looked like a phyllo dough.
It looked like phyllo. It didn't look like
so it was
traditional
more like
samosa.
a samosa pie kind of thing.
Yeah, kind
of. Like samosa flavored pie.
Right. Right.
And I only asked for the 2 samosas and he gave you like a full plate of food for like $8.
Yes.
Which was, I mean, he didn't have to do that.
No, not at all.
Which was nice. And he's a lovely man.
Lovely man. And I have to say, I so appreciated that he was playing Indian pop music.
Yeah, I told him to turn it up.
Yeah, so we could hear it.
Yeah.
Because as I was waiting for our snacks from Sunshine Vegan Eats, I was listening to his music over at Go Veggies, and I was kind of dancing around a little bit. And it was just great. So we needed some music.
You know, that's another thing I should have put on not really a con, but a suggestion for next time. Because like you really can't do that at Buffalo River Works. It would be because it's roofed.
Yes.
It's not, I mean, it's open air, but there's a roof. You really don't want music playing and stuff. It would get monotonous. But in an open air setting like that, I think it would have helped the experience and kept the energy of the crowd up. If you had someone either DJing or have some live music,
Sure,
just to lift the energy a little bit, especially since it was so hot.
Yeah.
People were kind of trudging around.
I support that idea.
Yeah.
100%.
So, if I had any suggestion, if they're going to use this venue for next year, it's try and find some live music or a DJ or something just to keep the energy up.
Yeah, and if that doesn't happen, we're bringing a small speaker and we're doing music for our booth.
Yeah, we can do music for just our booth, and obviously it's not going to be intrusive because you couldn't hear Go Veggie's music.
No,
and we were just across the way from him.
Just across the track.
So
yeah.
What else? Oh, Lucy and Owen went to, and I wish I had room for ice cream because
well, you did. It was just at the beginning and gifted to you instead of
I mean, I wish I had room for like a soft serve, a cone or something by the end of the day. But Lucy and Owen went to Sundays Ice Cream and Desserts, and she is from Erie, Pennsylvania, and has the cutest little food truck. She has this great black and white aesthetic. I love her aesthetic. It's so awesome. And I was so glad that I got to finally meet her because I've seen her posting all over the place. And she has grown, her business has grown exponentially over the last couple of years. And it's
awesome.
It's really nice to see that.
Yeah.
She does great things for the vegan community in Erie, Pennsylvania, like organizes festivals where they just like close down a street and she brings the food to the ice cream truck and bands play. And, she's just really good for the community there. So I was really glad that we got to meet them. there, but unfortunately, I just didn't have room for ice cream.
Yeah.
And I've heard so many great things about her ice cream.
Yes.
And it
I
looks
have
so
too.
good. I've seen so many great pictures of the cones. People were posting like, oh, I really wish I had gotten a chance.
Yeah. So Owen and Lucy got cones.
Yeah.
Lucy is very picky about ice cream.
Oh my gosh. She's like, I don't like vegan ice cream. I'm like, well, nobody is forcing you to.
Yeah. And so, she hasn't yet found a vegan ice cream that she likes.
Yeah, that she loves.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So Owen ended up eating both of their cones.
Yeah. He didn't complain.
No, he did not. He did not. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's a thumbs up.
Yeah, and sometimes I think if we just give Lucy ice cream and don't tell her it's vegan ice cream.
We might have to try that sometime.
Yeah, because sometimes it's a mindset thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And then we had, of course, a few booths that we absolutely love, but didn't get a chance to visit. One, because we were quite busy ourselves, and two, because, again, no room in our stomachs.
Yeah, so you can only eat so much.
Yeah.
And here's a little tip to people vending veg fests, food vendors. Have like a thing on your menu that's like a tasting plate.
Oh, that would be cool.
For like $5.
Yeah.
$5 or $6.
That would be cool.
Because if you do a tasting plate, you could go to every vendor for like $5 or $6 and taste everyone's food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Instead of getting a full plate of, a full on meal at every booth. You know?
And then it can be like a full experience. Like, ooh, I got to taste everything that was at the Veg Fest.
Yeah. Like a little bit of everything that you provide.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a
Anyway,
great idea.
Just a suggestion.
So the booths that we didn't get a chance to visit, unfortunately, were Strong Hearts Buffalo. You who listen to the podcast, you know that we are staunch fans of Strong Hearts.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, but we did not make it to Strong Hearts this time around. Hopefully we will catch them in Syracuse.
Yeah.
We also did not get to visit Southern Fried Vegan.
Yeah, and they were doing also full plates of what looked like delicious soul food.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
It looked incredible.
Yeah, mac and cheese and greens and, typical soul food beans, and it looked really great.
It really did. So hopefully we will come across them in the very near future. And the next time we do, we will prioritize a visit to them.
Yeah.
Then we have Oh My Cod.
Yeah, from Florida.
Yeah.
They're from Florida, and they are a vegan seafood vendor. And they were doing fish and chips, and they were doing
some shrimp dishes,
coconut shrimp. Yeah.
And a lobster mac and cheese, I heard.
Lobster mac and cheese, and I heard that was good. I heard some good things from people about their stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I did too.
Yeah.
So that would be one that I would love to run into soon. And then, of course, another one of our favorites, Buffalo Plant Burger.
Yeah.
We didn't get a chance to sample this time around, again, because they were doing plates, like full plates.
Yeah. I had some serious FOMO, as the kids say. Fear of missing out. When I was looking at pictures of other people's food on Instagram today, I'm like, oh, I wish we had tried that. But like Sam said, you can't eat everything.
No, you can't eat everything. So, next time, I think, despite the fact that I am such a devotee of grass-fed, maybe next time I have to go, okay, I know I love grass-fed. Let me go try something else.
Or we'll just get one sandwich from them.
Or just one sandwich to share. Yeah, I know. And that was supposed to be the rule. Like, we kind of established that from our last Veg Fest experience.
Yeah,
that,
we broke it.
Get
and
one
we
thing.
immediately broke it.
We immediately broke it because I couldn't decide between the Cubano and the BLT.
Right.
I just could not decide. So I had to get both. Oh, well. Lesson learned.
Was it really learned?
I mean, maybe, I don't know.
We'll see next time.
We'll see.
We'll let you know after Syracuse if the lesson was learned or not.
Now, the last vendor that we really, really need to talk about is Top Drawer Sweets.
Yes. The guy from Top Drawer Sweets, I didn't get his name, and I feel bad about not getting his name because he was right next to us all day.
Yeah. His last name is Aragon.
Oh. How'd you know that?
Because we had a conversation about it.
But you don't remember his first name?
I don't, sadly. Because he's
a really nice guy.
We had a conversation about the fact that he's royalty.
Oh, that's right. Aragon. His last name is Aragon. Aragon.
Yeah.
And
he comes from royalty, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And dude had a line all day long.
All day.
He said people were buying like his cookies a dozen at a time. And these cookies are like the size of your fist.
They are. They're huge.
They're stuffed cookies.
Yes. And I've never had a stuffed cookie before. So this was a new experience.
Yeah.
And knowing that he was going to have a line all day, I went over very, very first thing just as the VegFest doors were opening, and I bought 3 cookies, and we just kind of kept them aside. We didn't eat them right away because that would have probably been the food we ate at VegFest because they were so big.
We just ate 3 stuffed cookies. I don't think we're going to eat anything
We're not going to
else.
eat anything else, right? And so I kind of put them aside, and I actually taste tested all 3 of them today. Didn't eat the whole cookies, just had a little bit of each.
That's good. She left me some because I haven't tried them yet.
Yes, had to leave them for Christine. And so the 3 stuffed cookies that I got, one of them was a chocolate chip cookie stuffed with brownie. Mm-hmm. And that was wonderful. And this would be one for, those who want a really wonderful kind of homemade cookie experience, but aren't feeling hugely adventurous on the flavor side, because it's just a really good chocolate chip cookie.
It is what it says it is.
Around a really good brownie.
Yeah.
So that worked absolutely beautifully. The second, which I think of the 3 is my favorite, was a chocolate cookie filled with peanut butter.
This was the one I was
with pretzels.
Looking forward to trying, and I still haven't tried it. I swear I'm still full from yesterday. Yeah, chocolate and filled with peanut butter. And
there's some crunchy peanuts on the inside, and there's some pretzel. And so this is an absolutely gorgeous cookie. It's crazy good. The peanut butter tastes like a natural peanut butter. It's not crazy sweet.
Yeah, not super sweet.
No, it gives you that really beautiful salty sweet combination that you're looking for in kind of a chocolate peanut experience.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. So I cannot recommend those highly enough. And the third one that I got was the raspberry sugar cookie filled with a chocolate hazelnut filling. Thinking it was a ganache, like kind of a ganache texture. And I really enjoyed this one as well. Raspberry, hazelnut, chocolate, and coffee. If you put those 4 things together, that is my favorite flavor combination.
Yeah, you kind of can't go wrong with that, right?
You have to put those 4 things together. It's genius, absolute genius. And this had 3 out of the 4, the raspberry, the chocolate, and the hazelnut. No coffee involved in this, but still, it was really a wonderful flavor profile. The center filling was a little bit on the sweet side for my taste, but the raspberries really elevated the flavor of the sugar cookie, and the sugar cookie also had some dark chocolate chips in it, which was nice. So this was a really unusual cookie.
That's a lot. There's a lot going on there.
There's a lot going on. Yeah, for sure. And it was delightful. But some of the other flavor profiles that he was selling, he had birthday cake cookies stuffed with birthday cake frosting. And Lucy got a cookies and cream cake with kind of a frosting center as well. There was a Biscoff, which I was surprised Lucy didn't get. There was a Biscoff cookie outside with a cream cheese frosting center, which I think probably would have been really good. There was a blueberry cookie with a lemon cake filling. So, oh my gosh, so many options. Oh, strawberry with a coconut filling.
Wow, endless options.
And it seemed that there were endless options. I believe there were at least 10 varieties.
Wow.
Of cookies. And they really are something special.
Yeah, he had 4 giant coolers filled with cookies.
Yeah. Like I said, I think he said he sold 600 cookies.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I really do think that he might have been the only vendor to completely sell out.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but he was definitely the first vendor to sell out.
Yes, he was definitely the first. Because everybody else seemed to still be serving right up until the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was done at 3:00.
Yeah, 3:00, halfway through the day, he was done, and then he could wander around and do whatever he wanted, which was kind of nice for him.
And of course, it wouldn't be a VegFest if I didn't make a stop at Burning Books.
Yeah. At one point, Sam's brother Owen's like, "Where'd Sam go?" And Lucy's like, "She's at Burning Books. It's going to be a while."
Did she really?
Yeah. It's going to be a while.
Yeah. So love Burning Books. If you're not familiar with Burning Books, they are a Buffalo-based radical bookstore. And they always have really, really wonderful titles on everything from veganism to anti-racism to anti-fascism to the environmental movement in general. Name it and you can find it. If it's a left-wing idea, you're going to find it at Burning Books. I usually wind up with 4 or 5 books, new books every time I take a look at Burning Books.
Yeah.
And this was a 5-book
trip.
A 5-book trip. Yes. So I now have a small stack of new books that I can't wait to dive into.
That's cool.
Yeah, super cool.
We might have to bring back Sam's Books Review.
We might.
Yeah, Sam's Books in Review. We did one segment of Sam's Books in Review.
Well, but
and then we never revisited it.
Well, right. And I think the thing is because most of the reading that I do is at night, like as we're going to bed.
Yeah.
And so because I don't want to keep the light on in the bedroom, I tend to read on my Kindle.
Sure.
And so
you're not reading
books.
physical
So I'm not reading physical books because I
Right.
don't want to keep the light on because I don't want that to keep you from falling asleep.
Yeah, and you've been so busy, you don't really have any like spare time to sit down and read.
I haven't had a lot of reading time. I think I'm going to carve out one day next week where I'm just going to sit down with a book. That sounds kind of awesome.
Yeah, so then maybe we will have Sam's Books in Review. Maybe it's just like a once a year kind of segment.
Maybe.
You know?
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
That is funny. Okay.
We had a really good time.
We
met
did. We had a great day.
so many great people that came to our booth, and I wanted to shout some of those people out.
But wait, before we do that, didn't you want to talk about the things we learned?
Oh, yeah, let's go back and talk about the things we learned.
So first, we decided that a good idea would be to pack a first aid kit. Now, this came because my wonderful brother, Owen, who was helping us set up, and let me tell you, having that extra pair of hands.
Oh, what a difference.
Holy something. I don't know.
Holy socks, Batman.
Holy socks, Batman.
We were up and running in no time.
In no time. The car was packed in no time.
Yeah.
We were up and running in no time. It was just crazy. So it's impossible to thank Owen enough for his help yesterday. But of course, Owen then went, being the nice guy that he is, he went a few tents down to help somebody else set up
he
their
was tent. He was helping other people set up.
And he somehow injured someone.
He injured someone and came back and asked if we had a Band-Aid. And lo and behold, we didn't.
We didn't. And so we're like, you know what? Maybe we should pack a small first aid kit.
We should. And I mean, I guarantee that Sarah and the VegFest team at their tent probably had a first aid kit.
Yeah.
Because they think of everything. Oh, and that's another food thing. Just to go back just for a second, that we didn't get to try. Sarah's husband was frying these potatoes on a stick.
Right. Jill told us to try them and we didn't.
Potatoes in 85-degree weather, in the heat and the sun.
Yeah.
He was standing over a hot wok of oil making these spiralized potatoes on a stick. And I kept seeing people walk by with them. I'm like, that looks so good. But we didn't get a chance to try one.
We did not.
Okay.
That's
but
right.
I digress.
I
I'm sorry.
forgot because Jill told us to try the potato.
Yeah.
And we
but I'm
didn't
sure they
get
probably
around
had a
to it.
first aid kit there. But we should pack a first aid kit in with our stuff.
We should. We also need to pack sunscreen.
That was dumb.
That was really dumb.
Yeah.
Now, granted, given the heat of the day and the kind of oppressive nature of the sun, we all made it out pretty unscathed. I, of course, am really, really red, particularly on the backs of my legs.
The backs of your legs got a little burned.
And the back of my neck a little bit.
A little bit.
As far as...
This Irish girl is not good in the sun.
I'm really not. Even the rest of my family has more melanin than I do. I'm truly the palest of the pale.
You are.
And then we also need to bring more water.
Yeah, I brought, how many ounces does that growler?
64.
A 64-ounce growler of ice water. And that kind of saved us. It lasted most of the day.
Yeah.
And then Sarah from VegFest did bring us over some bottled water, which I poured back into the growler. But we could have just brought another growler and we'd have been good for the whole day.
Yeah, I think we do need to bring... We need to get a second 64-ounce growler and keep that with us.
Yeah, it's a really nice one. I put ice in it in the morning.
And it's cold all day.
At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, there was still ice in it. So
that's
it keeps it
great.
really cold.
Yeah, so we definitely need to do more water. We need to up our tent weight game.
Yeah, I didn't notice in the application it did say that you can't stake on this field because of the AstroTurf.
And a lot of places, a lot of fests are like that.
Yeah.
That you can't stake things
I
down.
missed that and didn't see it until like a few days ago. So I immediately went to dreaded Amazon and bought some sandbag holders. And I just filled them with bricks from our yard because I didn't have time to get sand. And they were sufficient, but we did have a couple of big gusts.
We did.
That
one almost took the tent up.
Lifted the tent.
Yeah.
So
it actually physically moved it a couple of feet forward.
Yeah, so it wasn't quite enough weight. So we'll look into some better tent weights
for
the future.
And then we just need to remember to take a little more time to hit more booths.
it's just so hard. We were busy,
We were,
Yeah.
but we can
split off.
One person can handle
the
store.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah. And so it doesn't need to be both of us there all the time.
Yeah.
So we can take a little more time to explore the VegFest ourselves.
Yeah, and even if we're not buying from everybody, just to, introduce ourselves and meet people, I'd like to meet more of the vendors that I didn't get a chance to meet and that. So yeah, definitely take more time to reach out to more of the vendors.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now you can do your VegFest shout outs.
Yeah, like I was saying. Awesome people came to our booth. We had a ton of people come to our booth. Thank you so much, everybody that supported us so heavily yesterday. We had a fantastic day. We made tons of sales. It was just great.
Even better than that was people just stopping in to say hello. Yeah. People coming and telling us that they're Pickles.
Yeah.
More people coming in and getting on the mailing list, and that's better than sales will ever be.
Yeah. So I wanted to just shout a few of those people out.
And so here we go. Starting right at the top, we have Jenny from Isotope Vegan Desserts.
Yeah. Thank you again, Jenny, so much for bringing us those sandwiches and for introducing yourself because, we've talked on Instagram and on social media and stuff, and it's so great to put faces to names and stuff. And we totally appreciated you coming and introducing yourself to us. So
yes.
Thank you for that.
Then we have our new friend, Akil.
Akil! I told you I was going to shout you out, Akil. Akil has never listened to our podcast, and I told him if he listened, that we would be shouting him out.
So here it is.
I hope you're listening, Akil.
Akil,
thanks for stopping by.
Meeting you.
It was really great meeting you. Who's next on the list? We have Purnima.
We have Bonnie, and we want to say to Bonnie, we will get on that T-shirt design.
Yeah, Bonnie wanted us. Oh, she gave us all kinds of ideas,
all kinds of suggestions for merch,
for T-shirts and stuff. She wants one of our stickers on a T-shirt, and funny enough, it's the one sticker that I'm thinking of making a T-shirt. So. All right. Thank you for, cinching that for me that I need to get on that.
Yeah.
And we will get on that and let you know.
Yes, we will. Yeah, I really think that T-shirt will probably be available by Halloween.
Yeah.
Then we have Edward Hensley.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by, Edward Hensley, and introducing yourself and signing up for our mailing list. Really appreciate it when people do that.
Absolutely.
And Angela Mendito, who also stopped by the booth and signed up for our mailing list. Thank you for stopping by, Angela.
Then we have Melanie and her hysterically funny son, Ollie. We want to thank you for the hugs, and many thanks to Ollie for entertaining us. And we really hope you enjoy your magic stick. Ollie will know what we mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Tommy Young stopped by the booth.
As did Lisa Kilgon.
And Shelly. Hey, Shelly. Thanks for stopping.
And Jill Powell.
Jill, thanks for stopping by the booth. Suzanne Spencer came by.
We had a Laura Roller.
Laura Roller, you have a really cool name.
Yeah, you do.
I like that name. And Allie Lawrence from Spirit and Abundance Vegan Cheese in Rochester stopped by. And we haven't seen Allie since 3 years ago at Taste of Vegan.
No, 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago?
It was just 2 years ago.
Oh, it was 2020.
No, it was 2021.
Oh. Well, it seemed like 3 years ago.
Well,
and we'll see Allie again at Syracuse VegFest, I'm pretty sure.
We sure will.
Yeah.
And, of course, two of my favorite people, Rob and Nora from Grass-Fed Rochester. Thank you so much for the wonderful sandwiches and just for being the fabulous people that you are.
We love Rob and Nora. They're awesome.
Yes, we do.
Hey, Nikki from Sunshine Vegan Eats was there.
Speaking of fabulous people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She in Buffalo, Nikki is pretty much celebrity. Ooh, hold on. We have somebody new in the studio.
We do.
Who's there? It looks like Owen and Lucy
have arrived.
Have crashed the podcast.
Okay, so you were talking about Nikki.
Yeah, Nikki from Sunshine Vegan Eats. She is a Buffalo celebrity for
yes, she
sure.
Really is.
She's got quite the personality. Everybody knows her.
Yep.
You can't miss her in a room, that's for sure.
She's one of the queens of the vegan scene in Buffalo. And I was fortunate enough not to only get to buy some of Nikki's incredible food, but I also got a hug from Nikki.
Oh, I didn't get one.
I did. I got a Nikki hug.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And of course, last but not least, Sam from Sunday Vegan Ice Cream.
Yeah. So it was so great to finally meet you. So we just wanted to shout out some of the people that we met. We had such a fabulous time. We wanted to thank everybody on the Western New York VegFest team. Sarah and the team, I think you put together an amazing event and absorbed the pain of a new venue beautifully. It was seamless. And, you heard our suggestions at the beginning of the show. Not really suggestions, but the only thing that people complained about was the sun. And look, you can't control the weather.
No, you really can't. As much as Christine would like to.
Yeah, and I want to say that somebody posted on somebody saying, oh, but it was so hot and there was no shade. Somebody remarked, look, it's summertime in Buffalo. Yeah. It's hot. It's sunny. Wear a hat, bring sunscreen. It's not like people didn't know what the weather was going to be like,
right.
So, so thank you, everybody at Western New York VegFest and on the team, because I think they did a fantastic job.
They sure did.
We're going to move on to our reason of the week.
All right. So, of course, this week's reason to be vegan comes from 72 Reasons to Be Vegan, Why Plant-Based, Why Now, by Jean Stone and Kathy Freston. And this week we are looking at reason number 12, which is most fish are polluted by mercury and plastic. I chose this in honor of Oh My Cod.
Oh, okay.
So, hankering for halibut, yearning for yellowtail, craving cod. You might want to dream again unless you enjoy meals featuring toxic compounds and vermin. Let's start with mercury, a silvery white element that is liquid at room temperature. The World Health Organization considers mercury one of the top 10 chemicals of major public health concern, and yet it's widely found in fish. Mercury can harm the central nervous system and can cause developmental disabilities in babies born to mothers with high levels of the chemical in their body. Mercury finds its way into fish from several sources. When coal and other fossil fuels are burned, mercury-containing emissions are carried into the ocean by rain. Mercury from household and industrial waste finds its way into soil and then groundwater. Naturally occurring bacteria convert it into a compound called methylmercury, which gets eaten by plankton, who are then eaten by small fish, who are then eaten by bigger fish. As the methylmercury moves up the food chain, it becomes more concentrated. It gets worse. Mercury isn't the only contaminant in fish, who contain a whole bouillabaisse of toxic chemicals, including pesticides, dioxin, and PCBs from industrial, farm, and stormwater runoff that wash into waterways where fish absorb them. All of these pollutants can build up in your body over time and can take years to eliminate. Sadly, pollutants are everywhere. In 2009, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency conducted a study of freshwater fish contamination in 500 lakes and reservoirs across all states. They found mercury and PCBs in all of them. All of them.
Yep.
Moreover, a 2016 global analysis of seafood by the Scripps Institution of Oceanography found that all types of the world's ocean fish contain toxic chemicals known as persistent organic pollutants in varying levels. All of them. Still want to risk it for the spicy dragon roll? How do you feel about spicy parasite roll? Raw fish entrees like sushi and sashimi are prone to harbor the likes of tapeworms or a nematode called anisakis, nicknamed the herring worm. These creatures' eggs are excreted via human or sea animal feces and hatch in water. Their larvae get eaten by crustaceans who are then eaten by fish. As the worms grow, their presence can lead to symptoms including abdominal cramps, severe diarrhea, and vomiting till the parasite is removed. Pass the avocado and cucumber roll, please.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a case for having vegan fish instead of those things, I don't know what else is.
Exactly. Fortunately, my favorite sushi roll, even pre-veganism, was the vegetarian dragon roll.
Yeah, dragon roll is my favorite too.
Yeah, so instead of a fish, you get like a fried sweet potato or some fried broccoli or something like that inside with cucumber and avocado and other veg. For me, that is the way to go. Yeah. They have an outstanding vegan dragon roll at Planta Queen.
Oh, yeah. Really good.
In Toronto.
Really good.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that. It's time for our favorite part of the show.
It's our listener shout out.
Just want to give a shout out to all my fans watching. I love you guys. I love you.
I am really privileged to give this week's listener shout out. And this week, the shout out goes to Quillen Capello. Q may be our youngest listener at just 8 years old. He is vegan and an amazing artist who has a passion for saving our planet and the beings that live here. You can check out his incredible artwork on his Instagram page, Quillen's Crafts. He and his mom, Jacqueline, recently did a live food demo in Syracuse to show how easy and delicious a cruelty-free vegan diet can be. Quillen, thank you so much for listening. We love knowing you are out there, and we can't wait to send you a CNC swag bag.
We can't. So send us your t-shirt size and address so we can send you that swag bag. I think I have just the t-shirt for you. We just got some youth sizes in, so I'm excited to send that out to you. And oh my God, Q, I am looking forward to meeting you in person
at the Syracuse VegFest
in Syracuse.
Yes.
I can't wait. I hope you don't mind if I hug you, because I think I'm going to. Oh. So look forward to that.
Yes, absolutely.
And thank you so much for listening, Q.
Yes.
That brings us to our housekeeping.
Sure does. First, we want to try your favorite vegan recipes, and we want to include them in our listener recipes segment. So email or DM us the vegan meals you love to make. We'll try it and feature it on the podcast.
Yeah, and here's some things you can subscribe to. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we put up every episode of the podcast, and I am lagging behind in my cooking videos.
You are, but you'll get
back to it. And my snack
box
box review videos. I'll get back into it. Summer's been kind of crazy, so you can also sign up for our newsletter so you can stay in touch with everything that we're doing and everywhere we're going. And you can join our Patreon and join the community there and get access to all the recipes from our vegan kitchen series. And all the links to all of these things are in the show notes.
You can also find us on Happy Cow. If you're interested in knowing what restaurants we've been to and what we thought of them, you can find us on the Happy Cow app. You can track Christine down at Compassion and Cucumbers, and you can find me as CNC Vegan.
And we have a fundraiser at our Buy Me a Coffee site. It's for Food Empowerment Project, and that's at buymeacoffee.com/cucumbers, and we will match all of your donations. If you're not familiar with Food Empowerment Project seeks to create a more just and sustainable world by recognizing the power of one's food choices. They encourage healthy food choices that reflect a more compassionate society by spotlighting the abuse of animals on farms, the depletion of natural resources, unfair working conditions for produce workers, and the unavailability of healthy foods in low-income areas.
If you are so inclined and have an interest in handcrafted items, please feel free to follow my Etsy site, Cucumber Craftworks. I make a whole bunch of things, from knit hats and scarves to handmade jewelry, bead art. I'm even doing a line of stuffed animals. It's all vegan and made with lots of love.
And I have to say, the stuffed animals were a huge hit at VegFest yesterday. People loved them.
They really were. I'm gonna have to get cracking to make some more for Syracuse.
Yeah, and I don't know if you mentioned it, but the sale of those stuffed animals, 25% of that goes to Mockingbird Farms Animal Sanctuary.
It certainly does,
which is awesome.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Hey, you want to get a listener shout out like Quillen? I know you do. So send me a DM or an email letting us know that you listen and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Leave us a review on your podcast app if it allows you to do so. And if not, just share the show with a friend or family member that you think would enjoy what we do. You can also share our social media posts. It's the easiest way to support us or any of your favorite content creators, and it costs nothing at all.
And last but not least, join the AFA Vegan Voter Hub. Give to the AFA if you can. The AFA is the Agriculture Fairness Alliance, and they are lobbying in Washington, D.C. on our behalf so that our vegan voices are heard. You want to make real change on the upcoming Farm Bill? Then join the Vegan Voter Hub.
Well, that's brought us to our sign-off. You have just listened to episode 99 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast, and there is nothing left to say but where cukes and compassion are always the fashion on the podcast.
Thanks, James.
Have a great week, everyone.
We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
We love you. Bye.
Lucy, you want to say hi?
Sure.
Before we sign off, Lucy crashed the studio right in the middle of the podcast, and she just wanted to say hi to everybody.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening.
The end.
If you'd like to support the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast, well, you can do that by hopping on over to our Patreon page and becoming a patron. We have all the recipes from our vegan kitchen series up there, and we'll be adding some patron-only episodes in the near future. So thank you for supporting us at whatever level that you choose, and thank you again for listening to Compassion and Cucumbers podcast.